Hey there, welcome to Tips and Techniques for Writers. My name is Matthew Arkin. I'm the lead story editor for My Two Cents Editing, and today we're going to talk about a simple technique that will make your prose more active and compelling. We're going to talk about gerunds. What the heck are gerunds? I hear you cry. That's okay. I didn't know either until after I'd given a draft of my novel to my best college buddy, who'd spent several years as an editor at a prestigious New York publishing house. "You sure do use a lot of gerunds," he said when he had finished the manuscript. He had a lot of other comments, but this one comment rose above the rest and continues to guide me in my work with clients as well as in my own writing. At the time, however, I didn't even know what gerunds were. Well, it turns out that gerunds are complicated little grammatical units. They're similar to participles. What's a participle? It's a form of a verb that's been turned into a noun or an adjective. Ah! I can almost hear you screaming. I don't want to have to learn a lot of grammar. Don't worry, you won't have to. I'm not going to go into all the ins and outs of gerunds and participles here. You can Google yourself down that particular rabbit hole on your own time. All you have to know right now is this. If you're constructing a sentence and you use a verb in the form ending in ing, wait a minute. I just used one. Okay, teaching you about gerunds. No, that's not it either. Here we go. Look for the times when you use a verb ending in ing and you're probably using a gerund and making your writing weaker by, no, darn it, there it is again. It makes your written work weaker and less active. Let's look at an example from the work of a recent client, Alistair Duncan, from his wonderful upcoming novel, The Last Leprechaun. A particular paragraph in its original form read like this. Jeff laughed and pushed Art hard. He fell sideways, grabbing onto the desk beneath him, which tipped over, smashing into the desks around it, then crashing down on top of him as he fell to the floor. He lay there, breathing hard, blood running down his face from a cut on his forehead, staring up at Jeff, wondering what he was going to do next, and powerless to stop him, whatever it was. Notice all of the gerunds. Grabbing, smashing, crashing, breathing, running, staring, wondering. Seems like a lot of action, doesn't it? So what's the problem? Well, the issue, and it's a very subtle one, is that the use of gerunds gives the feeling that the actions are simply happening rather than being caused or motivated by the characters and events. It makes them feel passive. Here is the same paragraph with all of the same events and information, but this one is rewritten to get rid of the gerunds. He fell sideways and grabbed onto the desk beneath him. It tipped over and smashed into the desks around it. He fell to the floor, and the desks crashed down on top of him. He lay there, out of breath, and blood ran down his face from a cut on his forehead. He wiped the blood from his eyes, stared up at Jeff, and wondered what he was going to do next. Whatever it was, he knew he was powerless to stop him. It's a lot more active, isn't it? It gives us the feeling that we are there, thrust into the action. The event is happening now, and there is a direct cause and effect between a character's action and the consequent reaction. This isn't to say that the use of the ing form is always bad. Let's take a look at another passage from the novel. Art turned away down a hallway covered with framed photos of him, as a baby in his mother's arms, in a football uniform, playing baseball, with his parents, the Grand Canyon behind them, at Yosemite in front of El Capitan. In all of them he was smiling, his parents smiling with him. He swung past without seeing them, heading towards his bedroom at the end of the hall. In this instance, the passive feels okay. The photos are in the past, and the point seems to be that Art passes them every day without noticing them. It's not an active choice on his part to ignore them. Now, if it were an active choice, if there was some reason we wanted to make the point that he doesn't know that they are there, and that they bother him, we might say he didn't look at them. That would make a different statement. So, going through your writing when you're editing and looking for these ing endings is a good idea. Or rather, as I should say, edit your work, and when you do, keep an eye out for these tricky ing endings. You'll be glad you did. Thank you for joining us, and please subscribe to this channel, and when you do, make sure to ring the bell so that you get notifications of scheduled live streams and new uploads. And head over to my website, MatthewArkin.com, to subscribe to my newsletter. Do the same at my2centsediting.com and subscribe there. You'll get our newsletters with interesting and informative articles on writing, acting, and other aspects of storytelling. All the links are below in the description to these videos. Happy writing! And if you're joining us for the premiere of this video, stick around on this channel for a live stream Q&A conversation with me and Meghan Pinson, my boss at my2centsediting.com. See you in a minute.